So today's first talk, so welcome. We are GF Piping Systems. We have our booth right in front, so if you have any questions about products, afterwards my colleagues will be there to help you. I won't talk much about products, I will talk more about sustainability and what it means for our company and how we could possibly support you on the same journey. One part is sustainability and the other one is circular economy. So these are the two parts today of the talk, and let's dive in. Why are we looking into sustainability today? For us, it's a major pressure coming from investors and also customers. So more and more questions are being asked. What do you do as a company for sustainability? You see a bunch of logos here. We have a couple of big investors who always also assess and evaluate our performance in this area. So that's one of the major motivations we have for sustainability. Of course, there is a regulatory push in this direction. So many countries are introducing country-level targets, like as you see here, net zero targets, carbon neutrality targets of the European Union. Japan wants to become net zero by 2050, and so on and so forth. So the world is moving into this direction. So that's why we also need to invest in sustainability. At the same time, there are some growing and quite worrying trends which are coming very soon. Water scarcity, water quality is the first two here. We are a company which works with pipes, so we obviously convey water from A to B. We want to help communities as well to save water loss, and so on. And there's an energy transition that's ongoing as well. So we are moving towards more renewable energy sources such as hydrogen, such as solar. So we want to be there when this shift will be happening. Where we are at the present, we have a sustainability strategy with the end year 2025, which is around the corner. There are 4 high-level commitments, and the first 2 are actually pretty much focused on customers. So we want to offer high-value sustainable solutions to our customers and also drive a circular economy together. What it means, I will explain in a moment. As mentioned, we are being rated and evaluated by various agencies, rating agencies. You see here quite good scorings in most of them. So we have AA scoring in MSCI. We have a CDP, so Carbon Disclosure Project scoring of A as well. So we are also considered by the Wall Street Journal as one of the leading companies in sustainability in our industry. Now let's dive into the strategy itself. I think you might not see all the small letters there, but I will read it to you. So this first target is specifically about our customers, about our product portfolio. And here our commitment is to achieve 70% of our sales with products with social and environmental benefits. This is our target to achieve by 2025. How do we get there? We integrate sustainability in our innovation process. On the top you see that's the gate. These are the innovation gates every new project has to go through in GF. It's in total 7 or 8 gates. Already in the first early stages of an innovation, when it's a new product, when it's just a prototype, we make a basic sustainability assessment. As you see, the spider diagram shows that we analyze really all the phases of the life cycle of the product, from the raw materials through production, then the product in use, then disassembly and end of life. So all of this is being analyzed. And as the product goes further in the gate process, it becomes more and more a mature and ripe new product. We do another assessment, which is called the advanced assessment, where we go really much in detail and we challenge our colleagues, our developer team to look at it again. Have you done everything really to make this product more sustainable than its previous version? That's what happens in our innovation process. We also we are building tools to quantify the sustainability benefits of our products for our customers. There are various parts of the life cycle here where you can look in, where you can quantify the benefits. As an example, for our data center customers, which are the big Googles, Amazons, and Facebooks of this world, we have developed a carbon calculator which looks specifically on the embedded carbon of the product they want to purchase from us, meaning that we look into the raw material and the manufacturing and the transportation part of the life cycle. So basically, until the product arrives at the customer, there's carbon emissions involved, and we calculate that for the customer so they can compare it with other products, with competitor products, and so on. That's one tool. We have also developed a hot water energy calculator that's for building technology customers. Here you can model a full building based on the size, based on the area, based on the year of build, and a few other parameters. And then you can model, if you install our high clean valves, how much energy you are able to save with the high clean automation system. That's another group of products we have for building technology. With this tool you can very quickly and easily model that. And then finally, if we look at the full life cycle, we also have a software-based solution to make full life cycle assessments of selected products. So if you tell us, I want to have a full picture of this particular product, we can do such a life cycle assessment as well. There has been quite of an evolution here. So we started with generic LCAs and EPDs. EPDs are environmental product declarations. So more and more industries are asking for this document. We relied at the beginning at the EPDs we made together with other piping producers. These were generic documents, not specifically GF documents. We wanted to move away from that, so we started to do specific GF lifecycle assessments and EPDs. You see here two examples. One is the butterfly valve 565, and the other one is CoolFit, which is a cooling system for air conditioning, refrigeration, and other cooling systems. We moved away from that as well, and now we are in the third generation, as we call it, that we can generate EPDs in-house with a software solution, which is of course then verified by an independent party. So this is where we stand today with these tools. Okay, a few words about our own operations and how to make them more environmentally friendly. We have a set of targets called climate and resources, and these are focusing on reducing the CO2 emissions, the water consumption, the waste footprint of our own production locations worldwide. The CO2 target is approved by the Science Based Targets Initiative, which is the world's leading initiative for approving carbon and climate targets. Also, as you see on the part below, we are aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals too. How do we achieve the targets for climate and resources? There's just a selection of all the projects we do worldwide. So there are projects for clean and renewable energy, energy efficiency of our machinery, of our production processes. Of course, water is a big topic, and then waste reduction programs, reuse of scrap, recycling, and so on. So this we do in all the locations globally where we produce. We have a lot of sales locations, and we have a lot of production locations where we produce the actual piping. So that's for those. It goes without saying that all of these locations are certified according to all the necessary management systems, so quality management, environmental management, health and safety, and some of our sites have ISO 50001 energy management system certifications as well. Finally, we have targets also focusing on people and well-being. So you see a few quantitative commitments as well. In terms of diversity and inclusion, we would like to achieve that by 2025, 20% of our newly appointed managers will be female. Also, employee engagement and health and safety are the further topics which are extremely important to us. Health and safety, especially in the production locations where we want to reduce accident rate by 30% by 2025. So this is in a nutshell our strategy today. Now a little bit looking into the future. This is what's coming. Sustainability is today. Circular economy will be tomorrow. What is circular economy? Today, our economy is predominantly a linear one. So you produce, you use it, and then you dispose it, and then it lies around somewhere and it becomes landfill or waste. In the future, we want to make, we want to use, but then we want to recycle and use again. That's a whole new shift, a whole new setup, not just for our industry, for any industry. It's a huge challenge. So we started to look into what does it mean for GF. And you will see here that for each and every part of the life cycle, there are actually quite some new opportunities for us, for GF specifically, together with our customers, of course. I will just mention a few here. It starts already with the design, so design and source for circularity, buy materials which can be reused, design the product in a way that one day it can be disassembled and the materials can be reused again. If you look into installation, also here, to simplify the installation saves material. But if you are able to create products which are easy to assemble and easy to disassemble, it's much more likely that at the end of product life you can take it apart and reuse the materials again for a different purpose, or even for the same purpose. I will show you an example. One extremely interesting part of the life cycle is the use phase. Circular economy says that the longer you can use something, the better it is for the environment. Because if the product lifetime is longer, then there is no other product that needs to be produced to replace the existing one. So a very interesting part of the life cycle here. As you see, our products are very durable, have a very long life, between 20 to 100 years, depending on the application. So 100 years are mostly utility piping systems, which is in the ground, so it's there for many, many years. In that case, prolonging the use phase is maybe doesn't make so much sense, but for building technology products, definitely does. For shorter lifetime products, prolonging that as much as possible makes sense. Now to the examples. Design and source for circularity. Remember, that was the first part of the life cycle. Here we have developed a PVC product which has bio-attributed content in it that comes from a bio-source, bio-attributed tall oil, as maybe you know it. This is a waste product from the paper industry. PVC can be made of that product, and we integrate that in a range of PVC systems, which reduces about 90% CO2 footprint compared to a fossil fuel-based PVC. The technical capabilities are exactly the same. So as you see here on the pictures, it looks the same, it has the same functionality, same quality, and has all the existing or necessary certifications and approvals. So this is a big first step towards using circular materials in our product portfolio. Looking into extending and optimizing the use phase, as mentioned before. You see here a project which we are working on with the marine industry. You see a cruise ship on the left side. Cruise ships are, as we know, not the most sustainable machines, let's say, and not the most sustainable ways for tourism. So we tried these customers to develop a more sustainable operation of cruise ships. How do we do that? You see a few measurement parameters below. With these 5 parameters, you can run your drinking water system in a way that you get all the benefits on the right-hand side. So customer comfort in the hotel, in the ship, Hygiene and health, the same, preventing Legionella and other infections, but also, and that's the crucial part, prolonging the pipe life. So if you manage chlorine, if you manage pressure, if you manage temperature the right way, the pipe will live longer in the ship. Today, there are many issues with piping, not because the pipes are not good, but because the parameters are out of control. It's a very manual environment. We want to digitalize this environment together in a project with the customer. And of course, the more data you have, the more you can do for sustainability, for saving energy, for saving water on the ship. Project Eternal PVDF. PVDF, as you might know, is a very expensive type of plastic which is used mainly by microelectronics and data center customers who are using it for hot, ultra-pure water systems. It's an extremely clean type of plastic, very expensive, and there's a huge shortage at the moment of this material. So customers are in trouble. We start looking into returning the old PVDF piping, which is in impeccable condition, as we learned. It was just ultra pure water in it for 20 plus years. So there's just water inside for that time. No change in quality, no deterioration in performance. It's we've done all the tests, as you can see on the slide. Multiple tests, stress modeling, microscopy, and so on. And we have found out together with the customer that it has exactly the same properties as at the very beginning of its life, meaning that opens up a whole new avenue for reusing this material, and specifically today when it is so rare and when it's so expensive, this makes sense. Of course, you have to find a customer who has a mindset which is ready to do this, who is ready to do this. Mostly people and customers want always something new. This is a whole new thing for them as well. And that's the final slide. What we are doing also now in a pilot project in Switzerland, we are looking into the plastic piping value chain. So we have convened all the stakeholders, as you can see here, from the raw material suppliers to piping producers, which is us, among others, then distributors like BSS is here in the UK, but then going through renovation, building, renovation, demolition, and then towards the end of the life cycle, sorting and recycling and recovery. So we have invited all of them to one round table, and what we would like to prevent is this flame on the left side, the incineration. Today, plastic waste that comes from building sites is taken to the incineration plant and it's burnt. So the material is gone forever. What we would like to do is to recover the value of this old and used material and reuse it again with the help of the recycling companies. And that's to give an end-of-life scenario or a second life to the plastic that comes out of the buildings. There are two more pictures here. This is how our pipes end up being. That's the end of life of the piping. Huge demolition, but it's possible to take out the plastic from these demolition sites and take it to the recycling ground and make it a new product. We just have to develop the logistics around this. It is entirely new for Switzerland to do such a logistics setup. There are some countries like Austria or the Netherlands, and I believe also there are some initiatives in Australia where they are already doing this. So there are some examples that it's possible. We just need to build it from Switzerland, and then we will see how we can expand it to other countries as well. That was my last content slide, and now if, of course, you have any questions or you want to specifically address one of these questions, like what are your targets, how we can support you in achieving your targets, how do you evaluate the sustainability performance of your suppliers, I'm very happy to answer.
My name is Paul Hager. I'm with Safe Piping Matters. I was wondering if you could estimate for us the time frame for developing truly circular plastic pipe and fitting for normal applications, not the PVDF stuff.
Okay. The example I've mentioned with the PVC, there's 20% bio content in that. So from that you can see that it's a starting point, and one day we want to reach 100% bio content PVC. But there are many things which make it challenging, which is the availability of this material. So we depend on the suppliers of bio PVC as well. So there is simply not enough material today to make it, to have enough of it, and to have it also financially so attractive that also our customers would agree to pay the price. So that's kind of just explained on a small example how challenging it is to switch even in one product line to such a material. What we are looking now also into is PE, so bio PE, and we will take it step by step. I cannot really tell you how many years we will need to go to transition to a fully bio-based portfolio. I cannot say, because it really depends also on the technology development, on the innovation that the suppliers are driving. So that's all coming from a lot of innovation efforts. Some of them fail, some of them work. So that's the only honest answer I can give you.
Hi, I'm Angela from BSS. How much of what you're doing is being driven by the end customer in terms of what you're being requested for, and how much is being driven, internally? So what is it you're really being asked for from the customer?
Mm-hmm. We have many different customers in various segments. So building technology is just one of them. And for instance, if you look into the mentioned data centers, you have companies like Meta or Facebook who want to build carbon neutral data centers. So, and then they tell us, how can you help me build that? So I'm giving you just an example. In a data center, piping is a relatively small part. The big chunk is concrete. So they start first dealing with the concrete people. How can you give me sustainable concrete? We want to be also there, and we want to say, we are your piping people and we want to give you sustainable piping. So it's very much driven by some leading customers. That's why I am in the company. Actually, I joined just a year and a half ago. I'm a business developer for sustainability. We have a whole team really looking into what customers want and what they need in terms of sustainability, and translate that into our innovation activities, into our product development activities. So it's my job to gather all this information, to understand what the customer wants, and then give it to our innovation people. Look, our current product is not good anymore. It's perfectly functional, it's high performing, but it's not sustainable enough. You have to change that. So this is how we work.
Hi there, it's James from BSS. It's fantastic what you shared with us, so thanks very much for sharing that journey. Out of the entire journey, what would you say, what's the biggest learning you've had, and what would be your recommendation to others trying to follow in your footsteps?
Mm-hmm. I think the most exciting part is circular economy, definitely, because it completely reshapes how we think about our own way of doing business and our own way because we want to produce and we want to sell, which means that you put more and more material, more and more plastic in the world. Circular economy would mean that we put less and less of it. But if we sell less and less, we earn less and less. So there's some mismatch there. And I think that's the dilemma. You asked for the biggest highlight, but for me that's the most kind of striking dilemma to solve, that how do we still keep growing without putting more and more material out there. So we will have to find also new business models, how we sell our piping. If, for instance, you look at the eternal PVDF example, is the customer ready to pay for the old pipe again, or how do we finance that kind of thing? So it opens up really new conversations also for our innovation people, like, okay, I'm developing a new product for you, but what's the business case? So these are the most, let's say, interesting questions and discussions we are having internally. Mm-hmm.
Hi, Chris from BSS. You mentioned about the work that you're doing on EPDs. Have you now got that available for all of your products? And is there a way that we can help you to share that best practice across the rest of the industry? Because data is something that we're all struggling with.
Thanks. EPDs we don't have for all of the products, of course. We have for some selected ones because it's a several months process to create it. So we have focused. When you saw CoolFit, that's one of our, let's say, highest priority products, and that's why we chose to make a life cycle assessment and EPD for that one. And that took us several months with the help of an external consultant. So that's why we decided to move on to the software solution. The software solution has been rolled out already, and now we have the first EPDs generated with that software, but that also takes time. So I cannot promise you that we will have EPDs for everything, because that's thousands and thousands of different products, different fittings. Maybe we can do it by product range to make it more simple. But yes, I think if you are interested in any of our EPD activities, we can have a chat and look into what is most interesting for you, specifically for the UK market, and when we can look into that.
Hiya, I'm Leah. I just wondered whether you could tell us, so right now, of all the plastic pipe that you sell, what percentage of that is recycled at the end of its life?
It's a very good question. I don't know. We don't have this data. We have very different applications. And for instance, in the case of utility piping, when we sell it today, the end of life of that pipe comes in 100 years. And we might not be there to take it out and to recover it and to reuse it. Many times for utility, they leave it in the ground. This is what happens, because it's more expensive to remove it than just put one on top or one next to it. For houses or for building technology, it's easier. We have demolitions of houses, so the last project I've shown you is exactly to look what is there when the house is being taken apart. But the data here for recovery and end of life is extremely difficult to consolidate, so we don't have this today. If there are no more questions, thank you very much. Very good questions, a good discussion, thanks.